I'm down here with David Goldberg. David, tell us, where are we and what's happening here?
We're at ArtSource of the RDS, and it is an annual art fair in Dublin. And I've just taken this stand, which has a lot of new work. And these are paintings in casein and casein tempera, and they're also paintings in casein oil emulsion.
Is this your first venture down for Art World?
I was here a few years ago, and I gave it a miss for a few years, and now I've come back.
Okay, so you're reprising your greatest hits to a certain degree.
Trying to see whether it's good for me or not.
Yeah. Tell us, your work is it's a mixture of landscape, but it's the medium that you're painting in that's quite interesting. Tell us about that.
The medium is very ancient.
Yep.
It goes back about 10,000 years. It was discovered in caves, cave paintings.
Yep.
And then we know that the Egyptians used it extensively. And we know that the Etruscans used it extensively. And then it continued for a number of years. But in recent times, with the modern technologies and the developments of paint, it's fallen into desuetude, which is unfortunate. It's a very beautiful medium.
What is it composed of, I suppose?
It's composed of milk.
Milk?
A curd of milk. And it is a glue. That's a glue, and it makes a binder for the pigment. And why it's so beautiful is the colours are rich, they are slightly translucent, they are matte, and they're very vibrant without being gauche.
Because it's a rare medium, is it difficult to get hold of, or do you make your own?
No, I don't make my own. There's only one company in the world that I know of that makes it in America. But it's a very difficult medium to use because it's glue. It dries in almost instantly, and it is quite stubborn. It drags a lot and it dries too quickly. There's no fluency to it.
It would be mainly attractive to skilled artists. If you were somebody who would, let's rub this out, it probably wouldn't be a great medium to use.
I don't think it's a great medium to use, and I doubt very much if any artists, many artists are using it nowadays. I know there's two in Ireland, one in the north, a man called Colin Watson. There's one or two in England, and there are probably quite a lot in America, I don't know.
Were there any, shall we say, well-known artists who painted in that medium? Or
Colin Watson. Colin Watson in Belfast. I don't know any of the others.
So what attracted you to it? I mean, I presume you didn't start with this medium.
No, I don't know. It's like one of these whims, so I don't know. I was looking around for a medium that I felt was rich, was vibrant, a beautiful colour. I've seen some reproductions in casein, and I thought, well, I'll try it. And I like it.
So when you start, I mean, you've been painting quite a long time, but it's your output, shall we say, and your interest has increased exponentially since you retired from the law.
Oh yeah.
How were you introduced to it? Yeah, you found it.
I just knew about it from some other painters, some reproductions, and I looked at it, this is really beautiful, and I think I'll try it.
Yeah. So for emerging artists, as opposed to the professionals that are around here, what would your advice be about approaching this medium? Would you say get yourself a mentor, or because I would imagine it's quite expensive to use.
It's not the expense; it's the difficulty of using it, and I think you would need a mentor.
Yeah.
You would need instruction.
Am I right in thinking that you might be giving art lessons or art classes?
Well, I don't know yet. I don't know. I haven't been approached, and I don't know if people would take to casein. It's really difficult.
Okay. A couple of the works that you've got here. Tell us about the work itself, where it's located, and when it was painted.
Pond, it works up there. And it gets overgrown every year in the summertime with water lilies and a lot of trees overhanging the pond. We go up there, paint quite a lot of it.
Okay, David, if you could tell us about that top one now, because it's quite a contrast to the previous painting.
And it was painted during a visit to Jerusalem about a couple of years ago. Actually, it was painted in Dublin after a visit to the Church of Holy Supper. And this is painted in casein.
Now, Now again, David, we're going to have a look at one that's very contrasting. It looks like quite an Irish scene. Tell us about that.
This painting,
Yes.
Cloud,
Yes.
and it was painted not in Ireland.
Okay. It looks like it could be an Irish scene. It's very cloudy, and I don't expect Greece to be quite so cloudy.
This cloud came up after lunch every day.
Okay.
The same cloud.
Yeah.
It just rose up out of the atmosphere, and it was just lovely.
Do you prefer bright scenes, or do you go with that Irish verdant landscape?
I go with what moves me.
A still life. Tell us about that.
So red and so rich in colour.
Yeah.
And for years I've been saying I want to paint them, and I never do. And this year I just did. Called Discovery.
Okay. Yeah.
And they're very red, even inside they're very red.
Yeah. Do they taste as good as they look? Or
They're not as good as the apples that come later.
To go from landscape and still life to urban scene. Tell us about this painting here to our right.
Used painting nocturnes. So I think probably most evenings we went out after dark or just before dark and started painting. This picture is Wexford, orange and green. It can be really, really dynamic and interesting.
Is this a summer or an autumn painting?
Or summer.
Yeah. In contrast to your other paintings, which we've had a look at, this is very much a moving scene. You've got cars going through it. You've got transport going through it. You've got the light changing.
You need some sort of light so that you can see what you're doing. A lot of confidence and courage to paint this moving scene.
Now you've got one to your left here, David, which is quite a contrast compared to some of the others that we've had a look at. It's got men, it's got dogs too.
It's painted in the Phoenix Park.
Okay.
And one Sunday during the winter, we were walking, doing a circuit, and we just saw all these people coming out of the woods with dogs. That was fabulous.
Just looking at it, it looks like a convention of dog walkers. Or
It was something like that.
Yeah,
I thought it was wonderful.
Yeah.
And I had nothing with me, so I managed to get a couple of phone photographs put up when I went home and in the studio. Memory.
a few scenes that are going to be very familiar to Dubliners.
City Hall.
Now that one was presumably painted during the day, or
Yeah.
at least it's sighted during the day.
Yes, and you know that little courtyard before you go into Dublin Castle.
Yep.
That's where it was painted.
Oh, I get you now. Yeah.
And this one is painted in the evening from the street.
Uh-huh.
And I'm looking, cars are coming down. City Hall on the left.
Yeah. And what's the? Is that Auden's Church in the background, or
It's Christchurch, I think.
is that Christchurch?
I think it is.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
It's a very beautiful building.
It certainly
Very
is.
beautiful.
Certainly is. Yes. Going to be here until what, Sunday?
Sunday the 11th
Yeah.
at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
DavidGoldbergGallery.com.
Okay, so David Goldberg.
Or David Goldberg Gallery Facebook.
Okay, so you've got a couple of links
Couple
for
of
it.
online.
Yeah. You've got a YouTube channel to show your work.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and I think that's David Goldberg Galleries as well.